I want to present is the leader of the team, our guest for today, a two-term commissioner for works in Lagos State, before we deployed him to Osun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, sir. The Commissioner for Special Duties, Honorable Mudashir Togun. You are welcome, sir. We have in the House the Commissioner for Innovation, Science and Technology, Honorable Remi Omowaye. In the House, we have SA Higher Education, Bursary and Scholarship, Professor Grace Akinola. We have the SA Culture and Tourism, Honorable Taiwo Uluga. We have SA Enterprise and Wealth Creation. I love that ministry. Mr. Ismail Toyeshi, thank you. We have the Commissioner for Cabinet Matters, Senator Mudashir Hussein. You are welcome, sir. Of course, our friend and brother who is wearing two caps, Dr. Akilade, I have introduced you before. I introduce you one more time. You are welcome, sir. We have in the House Comrade Amito Lushitu. You are heartily welcome, sir. Honorable Wale Adesoji, you are welcome to ABUAD. God bless you, sir. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, may I invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Michael Ajishafe, to please welcome our brothers and sisters from the state of Osun. The VC, sir.
Our great founder, our mentor, our father, our brother, Aregbesola, Afe Babalola, his amiable wife, Yeye Are Modupe Babalola, members of the Board of Trustees present, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Osun State, Ogbeni Rauf, Aregbesola, his entourage here, all the commissioners and all the principal officers of his cabinet here present, members of the ABUAD community, distinguished students, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Permit me to be brief and respect the protocol existing in ABUAD. On behalf of the founder and his amiable wife,
I come to that later. I said before the interruption that we must recognize dignitaries that are here. And I want to start with a rare personality who God has specially prepared for some extraordinary things. I never had a close relationship with Baba. As a matter of fact, this will be the first time I will have a close, very close encounter, personal encounter with him. The other time we met briefly was when we launched the campaign for a second term for the former governor of the state. I don't know if Baba can recollect that we met at the rally ground inside. In that realm, you too can attain immortality. But today, I found the third path to immortality. The third path to immortality is not just to establish a university. Because if you establish just a university for money making, that is as a commercial venture, I'm not sure if you can gain immortality through it. But when you establish a university that is meant to produce human beings that will be worthy of that name and classification of human beings. Human beings that will be change agents. Human beings that will impact on their society. As I found here, even though I have not interacted with you, then certainly you are on the path of immortality. Baba, your vision for doing this must be recognized, must be acknowledged, and must be praised by all right-thinking people. I salute you. I recognize the founder of Aregbesola University Ado-Ekiti, ABUAD, Aregbesola SAN. I salute you as I'm recognizing you. I recognize your darling wife, Yeye Aregbesola, who shared the same high school territory with me. Not the same school, but we schooled in the same area. And if I should say it, with Baba's permission, our school was a girls-only school. I went to a mixed school. The school was a Catholic school, so strict discipline, very, very strict discipline. But you know, at that age, people get to do interesting things. So, but my school was so close. My school was so close to our school that whenever the authorities of our school wanted some socials, our school was where they were always brought. So we know the girls of Mount Carmel School very, very well. And that was the school she attended. Mama, I greet you. I recognize members of the board of trustees here present of this university. You share out of the greatness of the vision of Baba, struggle to sustain it. It's not about the being forced or whatever. It's about the quality of whoever comes here for education. From what I've seen, this school, we always produce leaders. And I rejoice with those of you who are fortunate to be here. The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Ajisafe Ekuon, Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Lawal Yekini. And talking about Professor Lawal Yekini, he facilitated this in collaboration with my friend, Dr. Akilade. I was in Lagos after a trip to Jordan with the president. So I was preparing to return to my base in Osogbo, and 4 of them came to me. Akilade with a friend of his, Professor Yekini with another ABUAD staff. And we shared opinions and experience about life. And through that engagement, Professor Lawal Yekini felt interacting with you or engaging you will be mutually beneficial. Professor Lawal Yekini, thank you. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Admin, my wife or our wife, after all, I today embody Osun. So whoever is married to an Osun person by Yoruba tradition is our wife. And no pun is intended. To recognize Professor Olanide Smaranda. Thank you. I'm talking about other principal officers of this school, such as the registrar, Madam Christy Oluborode, the bossa, Pastor Muduko Abalola, the librarian, Mrs. Rosemary Subar, and all the members of this great institution. I salute you. Let me go to those who are here with me. I have the Commissioner for Cabinet Matters, a distinguished senator, Senator Muzazi Hussein. Thanks. Commissioner for Health, Dr. Rauf Isamotu. Commissioner for Special Duties, Honorable Togun. Commissioner for Regional Integration, Honorable Bola Ilori. SAI Education, Bursary and Scholarship, Professor Grace Akinola. SA Culture and Tourism, Honorable Taiwo Oluga. And all others who came with me. Esheu. I recognize. Yes, let's put some action into this. Great ABUAD students. That is timid. Great ABUAD students. Greatest of the greatest ABUAD students. I salute you. I recognize personalities such as Comrade Amitolu Shitu, Dr. Kayode Akinlade, a brother, indeed, Honorable Wale Adedoyi, security operatives within your campus, and those who came with me. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I refuse to write anything for this engagement. I want to make it as interactive as possible. But I have a lot to say. Okay, let me, you are tired. Let me first of all apologize for coming late. The program, my program with you was to have been a morning program. But unfortunately, I got caught in an unscheduled visit by some emissaries from the president. And when the president of a nation sent anybody to you, it's in your interest to entertain such guests. Yes, I knew I would have that delay, and I sent word that I will be late in coming. Whatever it was that I did to acquaint you of my lateness, let me profusely and unconditionally apologize to you for being here behind schedule. But since you are no longer ready for a long thing, I will therefore abridge my talk. But no matter the abridgment I want to do, you are in a unique place and at an interesting time in our history as a nation. I understand from my reading of here and the cost of study here that you cannot be ordinary Nigerians. So, but for the fact that I know that the program of studies here are such that willy-nilly will change your orientation of life no matter the luxury that you are used to. I have been told that compulsively, regardless of the program you run, you must engage in farming. It's clear to me that when you live here, you will be an asset to yourself, to your community, and to our nation at large. Because what Nigeria needs now are not those who celebrate their certificates. They are those who see certificates as simply marks of distinction and not a cheap means of livelihood. So the other name for your university, with the little I've seen, you are in a life academy. For the usual ego and status, you will not want a school to be called a life academy. But what is a life academy? A life academy is an institution you go into and you come out as an entrepreneur. A man or a woman that will be a source of wealth creation. So from my movement around the school, from its layout, which is unique, to the content of your programs, and the attachment, it is clear to me that it's impossible for anybody to be here and come out as an indolent Nigerian. Even lawyers here will be extraordinary. Not talk of doctors. So it's not just about academics. Were it to be mere academic institution like several others, of course Nigeria should not be where it is now. The number of professors we have in Nigeria are more than the professors in Britain. When Britain signaled industrial revolution, let me repeat it because it's important for you to know. The number of professors we have in Nigeria is more than the number of professors in UK, when UK dominated the entire world. So it's not about professorship. It's not about academics. It's about your commitment to impact on society and your capacity to so do. Let's look at this all and see an interesting approach, innovative approach to building construction. Look at how expansive this place is. Where are the pillars holding it? How many halls of this type do you get into and you don't see columns holding either the stanchion or the structure? So when you enter, what will strike you is the ingenious way this building is held together. And that speaks to innovation and character. It takes a brilliant mind to know that you must challenge human creativity in whatever you have to do. One, to stimulate thinking. Whoever enters there and does not see the difference in the appearance of this place must ask him or herself whether he's a human being worthy of 21st century. That is number one. Number two, I don't expect anything less in the university. But whether I so do or not, the question is how many universities bother about the acoustics, that is, the sound effect in their halls, in the auditorium. Very few. I'm talking, and there is no echo effect disturbing my speech. These are not things we take for granted. These are things that your type must cherish and value. They ought to be commonplaces, but they are not common. I began by telling you that the number of professors in United Kingdom, when United Kingdom covered all the continents of the world, is less than the number of professors in Nigeria today. And yet, we are beset with myriads of problems that application of human knowledge can solve without any solution. So it's not about scholarship alone. Scholarship can be purposeful. Scholarship can be empty and useless. It's not about academic qualification. As good as it is to have the best of education, it's better for education to have meaning and relevance in society. What Baba Afe seeks to do here is to make this place a fountain of functional education. Fountain of functional education. may the fountain never run dry. And Baba beat me hollow with his vision for a multi-system, and he emphasized, he said, Rauf, this is not an ordinary hospital. We have here a multi-system hospital. A tour, a brief tour, not a complete tour, a brief tour around our university showed me that indeed Nigeria has a future. The closest to what you have here, closest, it's not as sophisticated. The closest to the hospital you have here is the teaching hospital, is a smaller teaching hospital in Sharjah where my daughter trained. There is a very small, compact teaching hospital in Sharjah, Dubai. Well, United Arab Emirates is composed of several small emirates or nations, if you care to so call them. One of the emirates in UAE is called Sharjah. It's not Dubai. It's a town, but very close to Dubai, Sharjah. There's a university there with a compact teaching hospital. It's not as humongous. It's not as resplendent as your own, but it's similar to it. For you to appreciate what Baba has done in monetary terms, when I conducted around that hospital, I asked the provost of the college, how much does this cost? He looked at me and said, $1 billion. And that was 2010. Said $1 billion. It's very, very close. This is superior to what you have here. $1 billion. So, if what is close to what you have here will cost $1 billion in 2009 or 10, you can simply imagine the cost of this. I never asked about the cost. But is it the cost that I'm bothered about? No. My joy is that we now have a world-class medical center in our country, from which Nigerians will be exposed to the best facility in training and medical treatment. Please clap for the founder. I've said enough about the beauty of your school, the relevance of it, and other things to show my appreciation of the opportunities open to you here. Let me now talk to you as students of this place and what you must take out. Life is quite interesting. If you refuse to internalize what you are here for, if you simply want to just have degree, you may not take the best out of here. So you must not only desire to have the best degree, You must desire to inculcate the spirit of independent livelihood that this school promises. Independent livelihood that this school promises. And I like to illustrate my point with life experience. You have suffered, not just had, you have suffered the consequences of the primitive cattle rearing attitude and methodology in Nigeria. It's not about an ethnic group. As some people who just don't want to understand the complexity of the Nigerian nation want to adduce. It's not about an ethnic group. Because I'm not sure that those who we accuse mindlessly of perpetrating the atrocities associated with primitive cattle rearing, they don't like it, they don't enjoy it. But what alternatives have we as a people and a nation provided them? Before you start thinking, is this one crazy? Let me illustrate. Our fathers who are on the farms and by the age of 50 are bent over with already deformed hands. Do they like it? Do you think they like it? That by 55 they are so aged, deformed, and diseased that they don't even enjoy life anymore? Do they like it? Baba, you know that the answer is no. They don't like it. But in spite of their disinterest in that vocation, has there been any effort to support them? The answer is no. So, for survival, they keep on using the primitive oars, primitive cutlasses that will ultimately deform their fingers and hand. Most people do not know. An engineering student, listen to this. The hands of our local peasant farmers get bent because of the oil they use, because of the tool they use to farm. By the time you use that oil to farm for 30 years, you cannot have a straight finger anymore. It must be bent. Because you have to bend down to farm like that for 30 years. By the time you are 55, you cannot stand up straight anymore. But because the consequences of their primitive way of farming is personal, it does not constitute a social menace. It's a personal disaster and tragedy. However, the same primitivity that deforms our fathers, which we don't care about, not in very many engineering schools anyway, is the cause of the social crisis that we are managing with the herdsmen. Take it from me. It's not because of their being Fulani, no. It's because we have refused to allow knowledge to impact on their lives. So we are suffering the consequences of our total disregard of our environment. We are simply suffering the consequences of our disregard of our environment. Many more will come if you keep on doing that. When we talk of Lassa fever, we think it's a scourge from some another realm. No. It's because of the filthy way we live and that nobody cares about. I doubt if there's any university in Nigeria that has shown concern about the poor sanitation management in our nation. Don't you see waste garnishing or serenading roads in our towns? Nobody cares anymore. It's in order for you to have waste taken from the center, the city center, and dumped along the intertown, intercity roads. I saw one while coming here and I looked at myself. I chuckled. There it is again. And yet we are fighting Lassa. Ladies and gentlemen, great ABUAD students, the time has come, and I'm confident that your generation will not be like my own, that never bothered to link scholarship with life. Let's ask ourselves some salient questions. The Europeans don't suffer sickle cell anemia. They don't suffer the effect. They have been laboring on how to solve it. Sickle cell anemia is not a disease of the white. And yet, centers upon centers of learning in their universities keep on probing into how to put an end to that scourge. Without their interest in it, management will be difficult. How come that we who are victims of sickle cell anemia, I'm not sure there is any university in Nigeria where any serious research into management or cure of that affliction can be obtained. So from complex societal problems to simple societal problems, how are we feared? I will conclude because you have told me you are tired. I will conclude with this poster. Why must there be Nigeria? Because listen, don't let anybody deceive you. We need Nigeria. Every black man, every black person, to be gender sensitive, every black person needs Nigeria. Baba, Aregbesola, every black person, anybody with this complexion needs Nigeria. Not to just simply exist. Not to just simply exist. To exist and be strong. Because the historic responsibility of Nigeria is to lead the black man to a glorious height. And whether generations before yours have failed or not, you must not fail to achieve that destiny for Nigeria. How do I mean? If you will ask, how do I mean? What's our business with a strong Nigeria? And why is the strength of Nigeria a sine qua non to the promotion of the black man? Why? I will explain briefly. Nigeria is the singular biggest nation of the blacks in the world. Say one. Nigeria is the wealthiest, singular, most populous black nation in the world. Say 2. Nigeria is the only nation that can galvanize the continent in which blacks are mostly concentrated to action that will lead to advancement and progress. That's the 3rd one. But let me now explain how. Let me now explain how. With the right leadership, which I look towards your generation to provide, which you must provide. I understand leadership is taught here. Please take it very seriously. Because lack of leadership in virtually every aspect of life now is the bane of Nigeria underdevelopment. Nigeria must reorganize itself for strength. If Nigeria is strong, it will provide leadership that will tap the humongous wealth that is buried inside the earth in the Great Lakes region of Africa. Which are the nations in the Great Lakes region of Africa? They are Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, and Zambia. The wealth, natural resources buried in the bowel of that region is so huge, is so much, that if Nigeria can support the leaders of that region, together with South Africa, what is there is enough to make the black man a pride to him or herself and a major stakeholder in the world. That is the destiny of Nigeria. And that is why Nigeria must not just exist, but must strongly be so. And that is the challenge to all of us who are Nigerians, particularly those of you who have this rare privilege of attending a school that will not only produce just academics, but game changers. Game changers. Let me pause for your questions. I thank you for your attention.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think our visitor deserves to be celebrated the more. Let's celebrate the governor of the state of Osun, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who has given us some food for thought this evening. Thank you very much, sir. The first thing that strikes me about this great citizen of Africa is his humility. He did not forget to apologize profusely and profoundly for coming late, due to no fault of his. That is the hallmark of a gentleman that he is. Congratulations, sir. He has told us that this university, which he has described as a life academy and the frontier of functional education, will certainly produce great leaders. Do we agree with him? God bless you. Sir, on Saturday, October 20, 2013, the immediate past president was in this hall, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. The same statement you made as an engineer about the ambience of this hall, the totality and the massiveness of this hall not having a pillar, was mentioned. That is coming from you as an engineer. is a confirmation that we are indeed making great moves here. God bless you, sir. He has called for some questions. Definitely there will be many. But please, let's structure the questions. Maybe we have 3 or 4. But with all respect, gentlemen, no stories. Let's go straight to our questions and remarks. The floor is open. Tunde, will you help me, please? The Student Affairs Officer. Questions, comments for our guest, brother and friend. He has said so much about the university. He has said so much about the nation. He has said so much about the place of Nigeria in Africa. Questions? Okay. Professor Sveta Ojo.
My hand has bent.
Your Excellency, I'm happy to meet you today. I'll go straight to my point. Nigeria, agriculture used to be the mainstay of Nigeria. There's no doubt about that. But over the years, with all the contributions of agriculture, the fortune has been going down. Now, when your government came on board, we were so happy that you made agriculture the centerpiece. But to our dismay, we discovered that enrollment of students coming to read Agric has been going down. This is a university where students pay a huge sum of money as school fees, but for students to come and read Agric, the founder, in his magnanimity, made it 50% of the school fees. Even in the federal university, that is only the point I'm making, sir. Even in the federal universities and the state universities, where they pay paltry sum as school fees, there are no students coming to read agriculture. The government that made agriculture the centerpiece of its economic development has not done any serious thing in promoting agriculture. In the past, when the College of Agriculture started, government were paying salaries to people to come and read agriculture in the colleges of agriculture. The same thing with the nurses. So, in order to make sure you encourage people coming to agriculture, even at the students' level, why don't you make admission to read agriculture a very substantial policy of your government? Then again, I want to disagree with with your point about the Fulani herdsmen. Now, the rate at which farmers lose their products, nobody's interested in going into farming again. Just last week here, in that our farm you visited, some disgruntled Fulani men, because 2 of them were arrested 2 days previous. They just deliberately put fire. Millions were lost in that small inferno, apart from human resources that were lost. So this government needs to do something to make sure that they are true to their claim that they are interested in agriculture. Now, we can't compare ourselves with other nations, but the law of comparative advantage, if we concentrate on agriculture alone in this country, Nigeria will go places. Thank you.
Two more.
I am Sulaiman Salahuddin. I represent New Telegraph newspapers. Sir, you impressed all of us listening to you with your delivery in your delivery. I'm one of them. I almost lost myself listening to the sweet things you said. I am not sure there are many around here who can match both your oratory and the kernel of that of the oratory, or I should say the canals. You said so many things. I am impressed, sir. One of the things you said is poor leadership as the bane of Nigeria's progress. Poor leadership. I wonder, sir, you have been among these people. You are a leader. You have always been a leader. You see, and APC has been leading the country at the national level conservatively in the last 3 years. You are saying it again, leadership. Why leadership? We have to be interested in hearing you more about leadership still being the bane of Nigeria's progress. Once again, I am Sulaiman Salahuddin, New Telegraph Newspapers.
Oh, okay. Professor.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, our great founder, we are all very, very impressed by your erudition. Excellent delivery. I'm just going to veer off a little bit from the leadership question, because you took us from Nigeria to the central part of Africa. I would like to disagree with you a little bit, because personally, I think Nigerian problem is a Nigerian problem that must be solved in Nigeria before we can start providing leadership to others. Now, why do I say that? Pre-1960, when the white people were in control, they were able to produce, or they were able to help us, they were able to lead us to put up a lot of infrastructures. By the time they left, we started engaging our indigenous professionals. And since the introduction of our indigenous professionals, things have started going down the drain. We have not been able to maintain even those things that were put together for us by the white people. And now, the leadership that we have now, rather than doing what places like Indonesia, places like Hong Kong, where they encourage from primary school upward, people to start learning things that will create patriotic belief that will help them to be able to serve their country to the best of their ability, professionally and otherwise. We have not been able to get to that point. So I think we need to start somewhere where we are going to start questioning our origin before we start to say we want to lead Africa. Thank you very much.
Let me ask a question. Your Excellency, sir, I'm very impressed with your delivery, but not very so impressed because I know you too well, and I'm sure you know me as well, and I know what you are capable of doing. I restrained myself from asking any question because I don't want to sound too political, because I'm intending to succeed you in that office. Thank you. Now, I want to talk about regional integration because your Commissioner for Regional Integration happens to be a friend and an Akokite like myself. I was very happy when we started talking about regional integration prior to your becoming the governor, because I was part of your team then. Now, what has that body been able to do, especially with respect to the issue of LAUTECH, the university in Ogbomoso? If we really want to bond as a region, going back to the Western region as it were, if we can solve simple problems of partnership with respect to LAUTECH, how do you think we'll really be able to move the region forward? That is my question. Thank you, Mr. Governor.
Student.
I said 3 at a time. You ended up making it 4 at a time. And you are still calling for more. No, now, let's make this thing very interesting. Well, I will start with the last question. It's no question. It's no question because we are Yorubas. Igi kan ò lè dágbó ṣe. For those who are not Yorubas, a tree does not make a forest. That's the literal meaning in English, or translation in English. However, the issue in LAUTECH today is not failure of partnership. It's failure of resources to drive a vision. When there is no resources, there is nothing you can do. You can blabber and blabber. You will just be talking. So I leave it at that, because this is not why I'm here. I will move to the third question. From your position, from your post. Would you disagree with me? I didn't say Nigeria should provide leadership when his own house is not in order. I didn't say that. I said Nigeria must be strong. And Nigeria can only be strong if we get if we put our house in order and we rally ourselves to bond and now creatively use our strength to mobilize Africans south of Sahara and take the black man to the zenith of the world. What we did was to expatiate on that succinct delivery. That look, Nigeria cannot just be an ordinary nation, but an ordinary but weak nation. Nigeria must exist and be strong, and Nigeria can only be strong if the right leadership emerges to mobilize the people, and then with that give leadership to Africa, particularly those in the Great Lakes region I've mentioned, and link up with South Africa to stimulate our renaissance. So we do not disagree. We agree. Salahuddin of the New Telegraph. What he didn't say is that your party is in the center for more than 2 years. He didn't add my own, but let me now add my own. You talking, you have been in the saddle for over 7 years. You are almost running out. What have you done? He was not as laconic, but that was what he wanted to say. So my answer, Salahuddin, so simple. Look, no government in Nigeria has made virtue, promotion of virtue, and condemnation of vice a central or cardinal pillar of his administration, as we have done in the state of Osun. So, for the first time, we reminded Yorubas that we are not just ordinary human beings. We are Omoluabi. Epitome of character. That's the meaning of Omoluabi. Epitome of character. And we change the alliance of the state to state of the living spring to the land of virtue. Ìpínlẹ̀ Omoluabi. So it's just a joke to people who just think it was just a mere wisecrack or imagination. It might not mean anything, but to us, it means a lot. For the first time in Nigeria, a state says there must be an anthem. And what is the content of the anthem? Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa, fún ilẹ̀ ìbí wa, kàgbéga, kàgbéga, kàgbéga fàyè rí. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ni pé bàtí bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká ṣiṣẹ́, ká jọlá. Ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹ́jẹ́ ká máa lépa. Tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára. Ọmọ Oòduà dìde, bọ́ sí ipò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀. Listen to the lyric. Listen to the lyric. You will see a charge to rise up and take leadership of not just Nigeria, but the black race. That will be the first time any state will so do in Nigeria. It's not a joke. And go and see the schools we are building. No state compares to us in the quality of education infrastructure we are putting in place, even though our resources are meager. So, you can only do so much with so little within a specified period of time. But we know we have steered the honest in his net, and there is no way it will be the same again. Osun will soar, Yoruba land will rise, Nigeria will progress. The first person said Agric was the cornerstone, but it lost its prime position. Governments don't care anymore, and so on and so on. Look, my brother, you have done the right thing here. You don't call the compulsory agricultural program. You call it food security, Abi? So I was told, you call it food security program. You may not appreciate it. You took that from us. When we got to Osun, we told ourselves, agriculture can be anything. Agriculture can be flower planting. You can plant flower. It's agriculture. It's not agriculture. But it's not about planting flower. It's about guaranteeing that your people feed well. Let me even tell you an irony that is peculiar to us, the Yoruba in Nigeria. It's ironical. But it's peculiar to us. The Hausa people still live on their traditional staples. Still live almost 80% on what they grow by themselves. No matter what we want to say, the Hausa ethnic nationality in Nigeria still produce 80% of what they eat locally. The Igbos still do between 50 and 60%. But out of the 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria, the only ethnic group that lives on what it does not produce almost by 80% are the Yorubas. You may be wondering, now. I will prove it to you. Yorubas now depend on bread and rice. Which of those 2 staples do we produce? Do we produce wheat? Do we produce wheat? No. Do we produce rice? No. And we don't produce rice. We are not talking of peasant subsistence farming. We are talking of huge production that can meet the needs of our people. And I will come to what you are actually addressing, but not the way you should address. The man who asked that question. We are the only major ethnic nationality in Nigeria that does not produce what it consumes. So the challenge that Baba seeks to solve by making food security a compulsory program is that our elite, academic elite particularly, academic and regional elite particularly, do not shy away from food production. Baba, you will live long. And that is the reason why you have a 3-year program in that area. Don't forget that. Because farming is one vocation that the Nigerian law permits you to engage in regardless of your primary profession. Whether you're a medical doctor, you're an engineer, whatever you are, public or private, nobody can accuse you of duplication of duty if you add farming to your work. So take seriously the food security program so as to pick which of everything you have to go through there you are most interested in for your own life. You should be able to grow something in the farm or at the backyard of your house after graduation that will support your family. Now to your question that agri policy, there is no agri policy. Sir, there is no sustainable agri policy because there is no research. Yes, look, let me further challenge you. Cassava production. Nigeria is the largest cassava producer in the world. But as huge as our production of cassava is, we are not competitive. Why? The maximum output per hectare of cassava farm in Nigeria is less than 20 metric tons per hectare. On the average is 12. But because I want to be generous, let's say it's 20. India has an average national output of cassava per hectare of 40 tons per hectare. Listen to this. Thailand produces minimum of 60 metric tons of cassava per hectare and is pushing the research to achieving 120 tons of cassava per hectare, for goodness sake. In the international market, how will the man producing 20 tons per hectare compete with the man producing 120 tons per hectare? Is it possible? That is the challenge our agriculture faces. Research must be vigorously pursued so that our production capacity, productivity, will be such that we will be competitive, failing which we will remain at the bottom. Herdsmen, the current issue. Look, my position is this, my submission is this. It's not an ethnic issue at all. It's more economic. It is more about poverty of scholarship than the politicization of it that we are witnessing. I simply try to illustrate with the fact that when a backward method is adopted on whatever you are doing, it will lead to tragedy and disaster. From simple procreation, simple procreation. If your method of procreating is backward, it will lead to tragedy and disaster. Procreation, it's so simple and natural to procreate. To complex issues of technology. Just imagine if we are still simply talking without amplification and modulation of the sound. Because what you are hearing is not just my voice. It's the beauty of technology which has amplified what I'm saying and has modulated it to be sweet. So you mentioned cadence. The cadence is amplified by the quality of the sound system. So if you are still primitive in the way we engage ourselves, I will simply be laboring here, you will not hear me. So as it is with this simple exercise of talking to you, and you are listening with pleasure, because technology has been used, so is it in every aspect of life. Because we are Yorubas, we do not see those things we do too that are antisocial, primitive, backward, and unethical. And I will give you one because I look at those things to let us know that, look, our backwardness, our weak economy, our political challenges are the causes of the problems we have, not the manifestations we see. How come whenever there is economic challenge, you get to read about ritualism among the Yorubas. How come? Why was there no Badu? When we had oil money flowing yafu, why was there no Badu? When we had oil money all over the place. Why? Let's ask ourselves that question. Why? Why is it now that there is economic hardship that you now have ritualism, Badu in Lagos, in Osun, some madmen, lunatics, kidnapped a 400 level student of Uni Osun, cut his head, and plan to use that head as ritual to make money. Why? But we are quiet about that because it's us. It does not gain any political currency, even though it's prevalent. How come that it is during the period of economic hardship that we start noticing kidnapping in the south and southeast? How come? So, now to the arsmen. Now to the arsmen. My brothers and sisters, children actually, because most of your students will be my children. Children, let me tell you, I'm not justifying the criminality of the arsmen, no. I'm simply saying that the root cause of the arsmen crisis is economic and lack of development. I illustrated by telling you that the Yoruba peasant farmer who at the age of 60 can no longer stand straight, does not like it, but that is what life as a peasant farmer has forced him to become. That our universities, our colleges of agriculture, particularly mechanical engineering department of the university, and Baba, and other centers of innovation ought to have developed simple farming implements that will not make our farmers bent and with crooked hands at their old age. So if farmers here suffer personal consequences of lack of technology, then we must not pretend that the same thing is the reason for the menace we experience from the arsmen. And what was the solution? I will tell you an interesting thing, and I challenge your program officer, your academic program officer, to look into it. By the way, who stops any one of you students from growing sisal, elephant grass, to produce fodder for the cattle? Why are we not producing fodder for the cattle? Let's cover our faces with our hands in shame that we are in the tropics where the weather is good around the year, and yet we have not developed foliage, fodder, and pasture for our animals. In Europe, for 6 months of the year, their animal must feed from what has been grown, harvested, and packaged in the previous 6 months. Go to any part of Europe now, you can't find a green grass It's not that they cannot graze. There is no green grass in any part of Europe now. Are their animals dead at that time? No. They feed on the fodder that has been produced before this time. If a set of human beings are that organized, what stops us from turning the challenge of us men into a huge business opportunity? I rest my case. Thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when the governor wanted to address our Vice Chancellor the other time, he said, Mr. Vice Chancellor, Eku. Mr. Governor, sir, Eku. On this note, may I invite the founder, Aregbesola, to please make his remarks. Let's celebrate our leader, please.
Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the time is fast spent. You are to go back to classes again. I know that. 3, this is a time for my siesta too. In other words, I should be resting now. The only regret I have is that His Excellency, who has apologized, did not come in time. I've listened to him attentively. I've learned a lot from him. The point remains that I would have liked him to continue to talk to us. And also you would have liked him to continue. Because a gifted orator, no doubt about that. He's highly knowledgeable. He's a patriot to the core. He's a nationalist with passion. I can go on and on and on, but I'm hungry. In my profession, when you come late, you pay cost. I would have asked for cost, but he has given more than what I have got for cost now. I'm going to be very brief because I told you I'm hungry. This university was set up deliberately to be an example to other universities on how to run a university. And our vision is to provide quality and functional education. Today, without even knowing what brought us about, here has described this place as fountain of functional education. So that was the reason why we established this place, to provide quality and functional education. I won't have time to go through everything. We are already impacting seriously on society in different ways. Suffice to say that our engineering college is the template for quality education in this country. That doesn't deserve applause. We invited you, sir, 2 weeks ago to the commissioning of Research Industrial Park. Again, that's in line with your vision of harmonizing education with industry. which was, in any event, the beginning of revolution, which we refer to in 17th century in England. I met this man for the first time in the Polytechnic in Ibadan before he became the commissioner. He has forgotten that. I was chairman of that lecture, which you delivered. Do you remember now? You forgot that. But I never knew he was going to become a governor. I didn't know that he's so knowledgeable. We are going to invite him again. And that time, by the grace of God, nobody will stand between him and us. This time, the federal government stood between the two of us. I want him to give us a pledge that when he's coming next time, he will come on time.
The pledge is this: I will sleep in ABUAD Inn to be sure I make it.
Okay. Well, I promise you, he will come. He'll be able to see our farms. It's only one. That's not the biggest farm. I'm here, sir. We are here to change the world. Okay. All the things you said today are those we are working for. My students are the beginning of a new world, a new generation of people who will change the world, who will impact on the society through their knowledge. If you know what the engineering department is doing, you'll be very happy. You can send somebody to come and see their inventions. Sir, in the last 2 years, we have won the best competition in Africa for engineering. We have represented Africa in Seattle, in America, and we have also represented Africa in London, and we won the best prize in the world. You will do me one favor now. With thanks, all of you will stand up and thank him in the fashion which I know. Will you stand up, ladies and gentlemen? Everybody stand up, please. Those at the back. And point to this giant of man, a colossus. Thank you, 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 thank you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in a minute from now, we will round off in this manner. Just a moment, please. Thank you for your patience. We will take the ABUAD anthem. We will take the anthem of the state of Osun, and then we'll depart with that of. But before we do that, we want to ask our mommy to please minister to our guests.
Can we have some silence, please? On behalf of the founder of this great university, Rauf Babalola, and the entire community, we want to say thank you, sir, for coming here. We want to say we love you with all our hearts, and we want you to be back again. By this, we are showing our gratitude to you by presenting this ABUAD souvenir to you, sir. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Mommy, Professor Grace Akiola will take on behalf of our colleagues.
Thank you so much. Well, once again, on behalf of the founder and the community, we want to say thank you to everyone that came with the executive governor. We want to say we love you, and we ask that you come again. Thank you so much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please may we be upstanding. We take the series of anthems and then we depart. God bless you all. ABUAD anthem, the anthem of the state of Osun, national anthem.
Founded by a faith, Babalola, a believer in industry and determination, a unique environment with aesthetic structure, a beacon university, delivery unequal, design for high quality education to most character, and infuse knowledge how to lead others. Proud of ABUAD, the launching pad to excellence with determination, and faith in ABUAD philosophy of industry, service and character. Our future for greatness and excellence is assured. And excellence is assured. And excellence is assured.
Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please, let's give honor to